The biggest opportunity, the real opportunity, is if they recapture funds from another agency that weren't able to spend them. And I keep telling our specialists, and said, as long as you recapture money, I will spend your money. And I said, you just keep telling me that I can get more. Because we do have clients on waiting lists, and we can spend more anytime they can give it to us. So. Any questions?
Is there anything? Yes.
What qualifications do you need to apply for one of these assistant grants?
It's a good question, and some of the grants are different. The majority of them, the biggest qualification is an income qualification. The different grants have different numbers, but 80% of the area median income is the typical number. For Ottawa County, for a single family household, that's $47,000. Don't ask me other numbers though. But that's the main one. Then you have to be current on your mortgage, current on your homeowner's insurance, current on your taxes. You have to be the homeowner. Your name has to be on the deed, and no one else who lives outside of the house can be on the deed. And we verify all of that through all the different paperwork that the client has to bring in. You're welcome. Thanks.
Moving down to our next item on the agenda, 7C, to remove the table the selection of Mayor Pro Tem. So we'll need a motion support to remove it off the table.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion to remove from the table the selection of Mayor Pro Tem.
Support.
Okay, motion support. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to 7D, nomination election of Mayor Pro Tem. Section 4.5 of the City Charter provides the City Council to elect one of its members as Mayor Pro Tem to serve until the next organizational meeting, which would be November 15, 2021.
Your Honor,
So, yes.
place Tim O'Donnell's name in nomination.
Okay.
Support.
Motion and support.
I accept the nomination.
Okay.
Your Honor,
And-
I'd like
yes.
to add Richard Carlson's name to the nomination.
Okay,
Pro Tem.
so there's a motion.
I'll support.
Okay. And sports.
I do.
Now we'll go back to how the motions, is there any other nominations? Okay, hearing none.
I move that let's close the nomination.
Okay, so there's a motion to
Support.
close the nomination. Support? Okay. All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to the nomination of the first appointed, or the first nominee was Councilmember O'Donnell. All those in favor stating aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay. The motion for Councilmember Carlson, all those in favor stating, oh, sorry.
Roll call.
Oh, to do the roll call? It was 4-3.
Let's do a roll call. That makes sense?
Do you have it? I mean, because if our clerk has the information, then there'd be no need for a roll call. So it was 4 yeas and 3 nays. Okay. Councilmember O'Donnell will be Mayor Pro Tem till November of 21. So moving down to new item 7E, discussion take action if appropriate to approve a bid for Tucker Marine Construction for $10,000, North Shore Estate storm drain work, and to authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign all necessary documents. And Craig, I believe there's additional information on our desk tonight?
That's correct.
Okay.
Just to update a little bit, since this went out, the Public Works Department doesn't believe that extending the drain another 20 feet to the west is necessary. They feel that the erosion around that storm drain is from the water washing in from the tide, washing in from the lake, bringing sand out with it, creating that hole there by the drain. The Public Works Department believes that if they put riprap, fabric, some sand in there to build it up a little bit, that should do it. There is some concern that when that water comes in, it's going to pull that riprap back out with it. But they're trying to come up with a plan to keep that riprap in there stationary to protect it. What's happening is this storm drain is draining stormwater from North Shore Estates. It comes down from the street and through this pipe and lands on the beach by the county park. What's happening with the amount of water coming in, it's eroding there to the north a little bit, and the homeowner is concerned that eventually it will erode towards the foundation of his house. The homeowner has put riprap in front of his house along the beach to prevent erosion from further getting to his house. And in your packet was a couple of estimates to do some work out there to put the riprap and extend the drain pipe. For the low bid was $10,000. This is street water, public street water that is draining onto the property. We're still having conversations with the engineer. He met with me this afternoon and sent the email that is on your desk tonight that he believes that it's necessary to extend the pipe. We're not sure that's necessary, but we do believe that the riprap is necessary to prevent further erosion. Public Works Department is looking at it right now. They're not sure if they can do the work. We're determining what's the specs call for 8 to 12 inch stone. We're not sure that's a large enough size to prevent it from being washed into the lake. So we're reviewing the size of the stone. If it gets much bigger, we're gonna have to hire it out. So we're looking for authorization to spend up to $10,000 to prevent erosion around the storm drain.
Still under consideration, I mean, you're still working through with the engineers on this? But
So
just to
working with the
approve up to
engineer.
10,000?
We're trying to get the price down lower. I'm not sure we're gonna get it down lower if we got to go to a bigger stone though. But we think we can do it for the $10,000 or less.
Okay.
Craig, typically on projects like this, we use Northern Pipeline or
Northern Plumbing,
yeah,
they went out there and looked at it today and they feel like they could be able to do this project.
okay. So we did solicit a bid from him?
He looked at the project and does not want to bid on it.
Okay, all right, just a thought there. Yeah,
Motion and support for further discussion.
Your Honor, I would make a motion that we authorize Craig to spend up to $10,000 to replace, rebuild, do whatever for this drain on North Shore Estates drain.
Support.
Further discussion regarding this.
What we're talking about is having city staff do it
City
and then
staff is good.
contracting some of it out.
Right, if we bring some sand in, we can do the sand and the fabric, but if the stone is larger, it's gonna be done with the heavier equipment we don't have.
I see, okay.
This would not to exceed $10,000 or come back and then we can reevaluate?
Correct, and if there's concern even with the Public Works doing the sand out there because of the soft sand, I don't want their equipment getting stuck in it. So we're all reviewing all that at this time.
I've got, okay. I agree with the assessment that we need to have something that would guarantee that the riprap isn't pulled out into the lake. Saw a picture of that today, where there was a piping. And now did you talk to the DPW and they recommended not going with piping?
Right. The engineer thinks that the water is all the erosion is from the storm drain. We believe it's from the water washing in and pulling the sand out away from the pipe. So if we extend the pipe out farther to the west, it seems like it's just going to be more water poking into the pipe instead of going out.
After talking with the engineer?
The engineer kind of agrees with that a little bit,
Okay.
yeah. So if you look at the picture that's on your desk tonight, so if you take that pipe and you imagine looking straight north, Public Works Department believes that's exactly where the erosion is along the lake.
Shortchanged. Thank you.
So Craig, what you're saying is, Public Works thinks that if we put stone and riprap in where it's washing out now, to break up the action from washing out the sand, it should be sufficient with, fabric over it?
Right, we don't think there's that much water coming out of that pipe from the street that's gonna cause that much erosion. And if there is erosion coming from the storm drain that's been there for over 20 years and never had a problem, putting some riprap out to stop that.
The homeowner, to the north aggravated that with any, filling or anything of that nature that could, like you put some cement in there or something that would create a wave action there?
No, they didn't bring any filling on that property. It's, this pipe is on, the county beach park property. And so it's probably, 20 feet or 30 feet from the property line to the north for the county park. And then that property owner probably has a 10-foot side lot, so it's 40 feet from that house.
Yeah, discuss this at all with Ottawa County? I mean, technically it's their property, correct?
Ottawa County Parks, yeah, we've had a meeting with Ottawa County Parks, the homeowner, the property owners. They have no issue with us doing the work there. Permit has been filed with the state and Army Corps of Engineers to do this work.
That be, since it is county property, wouldn't it be their responsibility to prevent the erosion?
It's city water going onto from the street.
But if it's, now is there water going into the pipe?
There's drain catches on up on the street that
Right.
connected with the pipe, that outlet's there.
Okay. I would like us to, since that is county property, and if we're just wanting to prevent erosion, I think we should be looking at the county taking up some of the cost on this. We're getting their opinion from the drain commissioner.
Your Honor?
It's city water going onto their property, so we're responsible to take care of it.
It is a city drain, we're responsible regardless.
It just flows through the county part on the north end.
Yeah, the county was gracious enough to let us put a drain in there in the past. And we have to maintain it somehow.
That pipe was put in there in, in the 90s, late 90s, and we've never had a problem with erosion out there, so that's why we believe it's the wash from the lake coming in and out.
Right, but you said that they felt that it was the wave action that was causing the erosion, not the water coming out of the pipe. Because you can, if it was the water coming out of the pipe, extending the pipe out, putting a one-way valve on the end, would keep the water from coming back into the pipe, but it would allow the water to go out. That's used very extensively on outfalls. I've seen this especially around Lansing and Grand Rapids.
We just don't see the benefit of extending that pipe to the west 20 feet. And we do need to protect our pipe, from having collapse, from being further erosion. That's correct.
Water level as high as it is at
Yes.
this point? Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Craig, could you explain to me again, I know the motion is on the floor, to authorize you to expend up to 10 grand. When we have a quote from Tucker Marine for 10 grand, what's the calculus for allowing city staff to do the work and then potentially contract some out? You think you can
The
do it cheaper?
the DPW has indicated they may be able to do the work. I'm not 100% sold on that at this time.
Okay,
So my feeling was that we're gonna go with Tucker Marine to get the work done.
particularly since we're coming up into the winter season and,
I'm not sure we have the equipment or the manpower to do it properly. But Public Works is still looking at it and we're talking to the engineer if there's any revisions that we can make that we could do the work. If that doesn't happen, then we gotta go with Tucker Marine.
sounds like potentially city staff is having, and yourself are having a little disagreement with the engineer's recommendation.
To extend that pipe 20 feet to the west, yes.
Okay,
So if they do it, it's only gonna be $9,000 if we don't extend the pipe?
Right, correct, yeah. The pipe, extending the pipe, it's not a lot of money, it's only $1,000.
Yeah.
But we don't think it's a benefit. We find it might be a detriment. We have money in the drain budget, yes? Yes. General fund.
General, yeah.
Something like this is going to be able to take place for the homeowner and to protect our drain, like in the next,
Ready to work on it anytime.
are they? Okay. All right, so there's a motion support with no further discussion. Then all those in favor stating aye? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, moving down to 7F. Discussion take action, if appropriate, to approve a contract with Brooke Bassinet and Ganine Bassinet as the city attorney for a period ending November 1, 2022.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Brooke Bissonette.
Support.
Okay, there's a motion support. Further discussion regarding this?
I just want to say one thing, that any dealings we've had with Brooks, he's been prompt at getting back to us. He's given us good advice, and the reason we went with him in the first place, he was a young guy, and hopefully he will be the city attorney for years and years to come. And that experience built up over time is a valuable asset to us.
Agreed. Last time we put this out for
2014.
2014. I'd like to go for an RFQ just to cover all our bases when we go out for contracts. He has done a fine job, but I'd like to see if we might be able to get something better.
Your Honor?
Yes.
As I recall, the last time we went out for bids in 2014, he was low bid at the time. As I recall, I couldn't swear to it, but I believe he was.
Somewhere, he was.
He was, yeah, right there. I think, while it may sound good to go for bids, on the other hand, we have someone that's, you go for a bid, you get a new guy in here, a job that's gonna take Brooks an hour, gonna take them 3-4 hours, so we're gonna get, if we save anything at all, it's gonna get ate up in the process of him giving us opinion. I think that his experience, and we've been extremely happy with his performance. I don't think that putting it out for bids is a viable option in my mind.
At this point, the motion's on the table and it's been supported. All those in favor stating aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to 7F. 7G. Introduction of an ordinance number 309, an ordinance to amend the city code Chapter 154 zoning, Section 3.19S, to read fence permit and other regulations concerning fence, wall, landscape requirements. Erection of a fence shall require a fence permit and payment of necessary permit fee. Refer also to the regulations governing landscaping buffers, architectural screens, and the like. Article 5, site plan review. So this is only the draft ordinance for number 309 at this point. So we don't need to take any action at this point.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Just so the city council is aware, this has been a headache. There's contrary language in zoning board, or the zoning ordinance. This eliminates just some contrary language. It makes it easier to administrate the ordinance as intended.
So it's just clarification on the language written in the ordinance.
Right, it's just a correction in paragraph S of section 3.9. The end of this talks about section 3.320. In reality, that should be Article 5. That's the only change.
Any other further discussion with us? No. Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on. Move down to 7H. Discussion, take action if appropriate to place on the January 6, 2020 City Council agenda consideration to adopt a proposed resolution regarding leased portion of the premise of 17290 Roosevelt Road, with resolution shall remain on file with the city clerk for not less than 15 days prior to the consideration of City Council, and that a summary of the minutes of the December 2, 2019 meeting of City Council be published in the Grand Haven Tribune. And this is in regarding the basketball basics lease that we have. And this lease has been in effect since 2010?
2010, correct.
2010. So we need a motion and support before moving into discussion.
Your Honor, I'd make a motion that we support the action to place on the January 6, 2020 City Council agenda.
Support.
Okay. Further discussion regarding this? Because there has been, if you note in there in the third paragraph, the lease payment has been at $700 monthly since 2013. The Sixth Amendment of the lease increases the rent to $850 monthly beginning May 1, 2020 until April 2022. Okay, just so we're aware of that, changes in the lease.
Quick question.
Yep.
Craig, does that increase seem reasonable, or should we increase it higher?
Seems
My question is, we pay to provide janitorial services, heat, lights.
The heat's on constantly in that room, in the gym, so the only time we're really paying for it is when the lights are on, when they're using it. They're supposed to be responsible for cleaning the gym, so we don't maintain the gym. They're responsible to clean it.
Okay, as I recall, there was an issue a year or 2 years ago, perhaps, where he wanted the floor refinished.
The
Is
floor
that
clean?
addressed in here that they have to maintain that, or they have to pay for it?
The city pays to have that floor stripped and waxed every 4 years. If he wants it done more often, it'd be his cost.
Okay, that was addressed in the previous lease agreement.
That was in the lease agreement. Previous amendment.
Thank you.
Any other further discussion regarding?
Nope.
All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Moving down to our next item, which would be 7I, consideration approval of the mayor's appointments of city council representations to board commissions and committees. This is based on years of service on city council, trainings that individuals have attended, and their willingness to participate on specific boards, because a couple of council members have addressed that they wish to remain on boards that they are currently serving. So currently I have on the Planning Commission is Scott Blease, ZBA is Mike DeWitt, Rec Commission is William Montgomery, Ketchel and Quastoon is Richard Carlson, Board of Review is Tim O'Donnell, Police Commissioner is Rebecca Hopp and Richard Carlson, North Ottawa Rec Authority is Rebecca Hopp, Harbor Transit is Mike DeWitt, Sewer Authority Board alternate is Matt Shinglebeck. Water Administrative Committee alternate is Matt Shinglebeck. Beautification Committee is Jerry Sayas. Ambulance Oversight Committee is Tim O'Donnell. The MPO is Scott Vlies, with the alternate is Rebecca Hepp. So we have those. This information I have in an email, and I can forward out to council members for that, because then also you'll have your dates and assignments on those. Also, can this go down to Councilmember Bliss, because those are the MPO dates for the next year. Okay, moving down to.
We should have a motion
Yes,
to approve those.
Motion approve.
I make a motion, we approve the mayor's appointment of city council representatives to boards, commissions, and committees.
Support.
Motion support. Any further discussion?
Can you repeat the rec commission again? I didn't get that one.
The rec commission
that
is
Will?
William Montgomery,
Okay,
correct.
so that was Will. And then Kitchell Linquist?
Is Richard Carlson?
Okay, Rich is gonna stay on that. Okay.
Correct, yep.
All right, thanks.
Okay, quick question. Some of these board meetings are at different times. Has anybody having scheduling conflict with any of the board meeting times?
Councilmember Carlson, Councilmember Bliss has attended a couple of NPOs and alternate when Councilmember 12. So those meet like a 1:30 time.
Okay. Nobody has scheduling issues? Okay, thank you.
All right, so there's a motion for any further discussion. Okay, hearing none. All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Moving down to item 8, public comment. Yes,
Lisa Royce, 17700 Navajo. I'm asking, by the way, congratulations to the new members. Welcome. I would like to request that somebody of the new members, because I know the old members won't do so, put on the agenda to have reports after, before public comment. I truly believe if everybody is truly out there to be open and honest, we shouldn't have to wait after your reports. That is city business. We should be able to comment. Like I said, the surrounding communities, I asked this 6 months ago, the old city council would not. I do not believe it is open and honest. Truth to power. Please consider it. Thank you.
Lisa Menerick, 18974 North Shore Drive. I'm very thankful, and I'm thankful because I live in the city of Ferrysburg. Our children came to visit us on Thanksgiving Day, and what did they see? But a whole flock of turkeys. So I just want to say the city of Ferrysburg is wonderful. It's a great place to live, and we have all this wildlife. Sometimes rats with antlers, but I won't go there. But thank you so very much. Thank you.
Sandy Tuggle, 17939 Dogwood. I know I've asked this before, but I was wondering if you guys could maybe consider putting on the agenda sometime soon, discussing the microphones. I've been live streaming these meetings for a few years now, and now that they're on YouTube also, if somebody's not using the mic, it is 100% silent, and I've had a lot of people complain about that because people are trying to watch and be engaged, but they can't hear. And even sometimes out in the audience, we can't hear if you guys are talking not into the microphone. So thank you.
public comments. Hearing none, we'll move on to city manager's report.
No report?
Okay, move down to Councilmember Sayas. Any report to share out tonight?
No report. I do have a question though, on the Rosie Mountain incident last week. What is our protocol for like Lake Hills School as far as city council members go and the city's responsibility goes if something like that should happen in our city?
There's an emergency manager that's in place, and it's from Ottawa County, and then they report to Craig directly, correct?
Sheriff Department would take control of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Good question. As an instructor, it's scary out there. Councilmember Bliss.
I just want to say congratulations to Tim O'Donnell for Mayor Pro Tem. And a report.
Mayor Pro Tem O'Donnell.
Thank you. I've got a couple things here. The Ambulance Advisory Committee met back in September. And nothing new to report. We got a couple things in the works, but everything seems to be working well with that. The Board of Review is meeting December 10th at 6 p.m. I will be going to a meeting on Wednesday with the CCO, with FEMA. And remember Carolyn Park? And which is the 14th, right? Okay. Lots of fun. I get to, as a fireman, it's a rare time where I can actually build a fire instead of tearing one down. Also, the collection of the Crusade for Toys, Toys for Tots is in full swing. There are collection boxes around, and the fire department will be once again out collecting sometime. So keep your eyes open. We've already had a lot of donations. A lot of people have been very generous this year. And to report.
Congratulations, new members. Hope everything makes sense to you. It did for me for a couple of years, so still don't have the time. And a report.
Good. Councilmember Montgomery.
I appreciate everybody welcoming me to council, and I did want to make a comment about how nice Pine Street looked with setting up, decorating all the lights for Christmas. I did want to ask city staff to look into replacing bulbs though, because it looks like we have quite a few of the lamps out as time permits. But, the street light? Yeah, the street light bulbs. But, and a report.
Thank you. Councilmember Carlson.
Kitchell Lindquist Dune Preserve. We decided to go ahead and hire another intern for next summer, and we are working on trying to maintain some continuity so that each intern that starts isn't starting out from scratch, and trying to build on our successes. The last year's intern worked out fantastic, and we want to build on the success of the last few years. Additionally, we're moving forward to become a monarch butterfly sanctuary because of the native plants that are there, and we're actually looking at importing some more native flowering plants to help support the monarch butterflies even more. End of report.
That's awesome.
Well, one of the things that we had talked about is that something that potentially we could do with many of the city parks, and because we have so many different parks in the city of Ferrisburg, is looking at doing that in all of our city parks so that we have multiple designated monarch sanctuaries within the city of Ferrisburg, and doing a group purchase. So, yeah.
Just want to repeat what others have said. Welcome to the new council members. And tomorrow, we, Ferrisburg residents, help support 4 Points. And tomorrow from 3 to 6 is a 4 Point Center on Successful Aging is hosting an open house for their 50th anniversary. So if you have an opportunity to stop by and check out the sites over there. Earlier, a couple weeks ago, I participated with MDOT's Bridge Bundling Pilot Program. It was a work group meeting in Lansing. It was led by Mr. Chenwith from MPO, who's the Chief Bridge Engineer, and Ms. Donahue, who is with the County Road Association of Michigan. So it was interesting and gathered some information on that pilot program. And then also to double back, the Carol Sing is Saturday the 14th at 6 p.m. So that's it.
Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Okay. Party's over. Oh.
And then it's in order.
What am I
According to
signing?
the agenda. So
Oh, baby.
you look at your
Did I
agenda,
RSVP?
everything
Yeah, for
is
one.
all in order. Boom, boom.
One?
boom, boom.
Just one.
Everything else is ancillary
Okay.
information or whatever.
No date for me again.